going on, everybody? It's Carl coming to you guys again with another Adamancipator deck profile. I'm doing an update to my previous deck profile. After doing some play testing, I found that there are some changes that I wanted to make, and I'm going to present those changes to you guys in this video. So buckle up tight and get ready, because we are going to go through the updated deck profile list for Adamancipators post 2020 September ban list. Alright, let's get it. Starting off, we of course run still all of the Adamancipator Monsters. We run 3 of the Analyzers, 3 of the Researchers, and 3 of Adamancipator Seeker. And so with the Adamancipators, you still want to run, you want to maximize on all of the Adamancipator monsters. These are still very important to the deck strategy. I don't think that you should take this down at all. In order for you to be able to have a consistent deck, if you're doing something janky or something, you know, extra, maybe you can consider, you know, playing it if it's not an Adamancipator deck. But in a original Adamancipator deck, I think that you need to maximize on all of these so that you can make sure that you are able to start efficiently and be able to play the deck the way that it needs to run. Moving right along, after you have all of the Adamancipator tuners, we are running 2 of the Adamancipator fire crystals as well as 2 of the water crystals. In my previous one, I was running 1 fire and 1 of the green, the grass crystal. I realized that I didn't really want to see the grass crystal as much. What I really wanted to see was the fire crystal. I wanted to have that engraved. In this build, we are focusing on the Adamancipator Synchros. And so because we were playing the Adamancipator Synchros, all of them, you want to see that fire crystal in the graveyard so that you can get the fire dog's effect. He's a little bit more important than the grass one. The grass one lets you affect your opponent's graveyard. The fire one lets you bring back a monster from the grave as a quick effect during your opponent's turn. And because of the build that we're running, that equals to an extra interruption on your opponent's turn. So we really want to be able to have that fire crystal in the graveyard. So we want to see it. Of course, Drag Eye, you still want to run it because it gives you an extra draw anytime you're able to special summon it. So we still want to be able to see that. And also, by having these, they allow us to recycle our Adamancipator Syncro. So you still want to run it. If anything, I would say with the Wind Stone, you can consider running one in your sideboard. Just in case you're running up against a deck that's graveyard based, you may want to put in the Wind Stone so that you can be able to target and banish cards out of your opponent's graveyard. But for this build, we are running 2 of the fire and the water stones. That's it for our Adamancipator monsters that we are going to play in the main board. Next up, we are running a lineup of the Kokimeru Monsters. So first off, we are running 3 of the Kokimeru Overload. The reason that we're running 3 overloads is because we want to be able to, going first, establish a board that is really tough for our opponent to break. By being able to play an overload, it allows you to negate a summon. And being able to negate a summon is really strong. Especially if you're able to do it and not have to play like one of the Solemns to pay life points, right? True, it only negates inherent summons, but it does allow you to be able to stop, you know, normal summons as well as special summons. So this is really strong. We also play 3 of the Kokimeru Guardian. That's similar to our previous build. We're going to run 3 of the Guardians, and you still want to have that effect negation, so that's why we're running the Guardian. We play 3 of our Kokimeru suppliers, and the reason that we run those because they help us to extend as well as to search out our other Kokimerus. And so they give small hand advantage, and they also help to extend your play further. Along with those, we run 2 of the Kokimeru Wall. Wall is a spell negate, and so because there is a such thing as lightning storm and cards that just board wipe us, we want to be able to have the spell Forbidden Droplets as a card, you know, and unfortunately, because there's cards that negate your board like that, you want to have cards that are able to stop those negations. And so we are playing a stronger lineup, and you'll see exactly why we're playing basically this particular build. Along with this lineup of cards, they help you to have extra negates that you're able to put up on the board. That's it for our Kokimeru lineup, monster lineup in the deck. They help basically put extra negates on the board, and they basically help you to stun your opponent. For one of the spicy techs that I'm running in this build now, I'm also playing one Fossil Dyna pack of Cephalos. You'll see exactly why I'm running so many Kokimerus as well as the Fossil Dyna in this build. By being able to tootle out the Fossil Dyna, you know, at the end of my turn, it just basically stops my opponent from playing. Like if I go first and I bring out this Fossil Dyna, and I got a Kokimeru, two Kokimerus on the board, along with, you know, a Drageye and a Leonite, my opponent's not doing too very much. Or if I got, you know, a couple of Kokimerus on the board, along with, you know, IP Masquerena, another Link monster, as well as a couple of the Syncros, and, you know, after going through your Needle Fiber combo, you end up going into what's the guy, Arclight. You have all of those on the board. You still got a field full of negations and interruptions, right? So, and then if you're able to tootle out that Fossil Dyna, it really just locks your opponent out of being able to do anything, because now they literally have a normal summon to try to break your board. And if they can't do it, you know, GG. Alright, for our one-ofs, the other one-ofs that we run in the deck, we do run one Plague Spreader Zombie for our Needle Fiber, as well as a Doki Doki just as an extra extender. Doki Doki, I really thought about replacing the Doki Doki with a Koki Diamond, the Searcher card for Kokimerus, the Diamond Core. The reason that I was thinking about doing it because it just allows us to search that supplier to our hand, and it thins the deck so that when we start the milling and everything, it's really one less card. However, Doki Doki is a rock monster, and so when I mill it, if I mill that off of one of the Adamancipator's effects, it also extends. So I mean, like, it's a give and take. If you choose not to utilize Needle Fiber, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't use Needle Fiber, but if you choose not to use the Needle Fiber, these two cards can be replaced with the Diamond Core cards easily. And what they would do is you would search out your Kokimeru supplier. So once you start linking off your monsters, or if you start making the synchros with it, you would just use those cards to have extra advantage off of the Kokimeru supplier. You better special summon them out, and then off of that special summon you would search, as well as have a extra extender for your plays. That's it for a majority of the main monsters. At this point, we still have a couple of hand traps. We still run 2 Ash in this build, just to be able to stop our opponents when we don't go first. Originally, I was thinking of running 3 of the Dark Ruler No Mores in the deck, and as I play tested it out, I noticed that a lot of times it would come up either late or it would come up just real inconsistently. And so I found out that I like Ash a little bit better because it's just more consistent. Like times where I go first or if I go second, I'm never gonna not want to have that Ash in my hand. Like the Dark Ruler No More, on the other hand, if I'm going first, it's like I drew the Dark Ruler, so what am I doing? Like, you know, Ash is more versatile. I feel like you can just side in the Dark Rulers if you need to. That's it for the main monster lineup. It's a thick monster lineup. Moving right along, since we only have two, I'm gonna go a little out of order other than what I would usually go. I do play two traps in this build. I play two infinite impermanences to go along with our ashes. And so with the two impermanences, they also help us to break through if we have to play behind an opponent. We can see the impermanence or we can see the ash. If I'm going second, both of those cards help me to be able to stop my opponent, especially with the Infernal Knights being around. Being able to hit that ISO, it really helps to stop it, and hopefully, you know, they can't continue to like spam the board. Some of them can still spam, but it's a lot harder. You just wasted one of their resources in doing it. So we do play the two infinite impermanences. That's it for the traps. And for the magic cards that we play in the deck, or spell cards, this is what we're playing. We're playing the Spice, the Zest. We're playing 3 Ties of the Brethren. And so in this build, once I make my Adamancipator monsters come up, I usually try to leave one of the Kokimeru. So if I can put a Leo Knight as well as a Dragite on the board and have a Kokimeru monster out there, typically I want to have Guardian out. If I can't have Guardian, if I don't see any other ones, I can always bring out the Supplier and leave it on the board if I have to. Playing into it, you know you have the Ties of the Brethren in hand, so by bringing out the Leonite as well as a Dragite, I play Ties of the Brethren, and I bring out, you know, either another Guardian, depending on if I don't have Guardian already on the board, or if I have Overload already out there. If I don't have Overload and I have Guardian, and I bring out Overload, and then I bring out the Fossil Dyna. And so then I'm able to have 2 extra, you know, I have my Overload as a summon negate. I'll have my my Dragite as a spell trap negate, and then you have your Leonite. If you got your Fire Crystal in the graveyard, you can bring back one of the Kokimeru monsters as an extra negate, and then you have your Fossil Dyna to stop all special summons. And so by being able to do that, it gives you a lot of interruptions on your opponent's turn, basically for free. You just make the 2 Syncro monsters with the 1 Kokimeru on there, play this at the end of the turn, pay 2,000 life points, and you get a free Fossil Dyna as well as a free negate. So the card was just too good not to play, especially with the way that the resources are for the deck now. Without having Block Dragon, you know, you really don't get the free extra synchros that you would normally be able to make. So this card easily gives us those extra negates that we would be looking for, as well as 2 1900 beat sticks or a free Fossil Dyna, as well as a 1900 beater that can negate, right? So we do run 3 Ties of the Brethren. Next up, because we are playing an Adamancipator focused Syncro build, we are going to run 3 of the Adamancipator Friends. The reason that we're running the Adamancipator Friends is because we want to be able to see our Adamancipator Synchros. Starting off now, because I'm not running the 3 versions of not Adamancipator, but Tenyi Adhara, where the free special summon, you just special summon it out. I think that this card helps me to start off with multiple Adamancipator monsters. And by being able to start off with multiple Adamancipator monsters, I'm able to play past hand traps. If you hand trap me and I have 2 Adamancipators on the board, I don't really care because I'll just use the other one's effect. So Ash doesn't like end my turn with this deck because I'm able to play this card, and that's why I run it at 3. The ability to start with 2 of them is just too good. Once I put up, you know, both of my cards, true, I can't use the Needle Fiber combo anymore, but because I'm running Ties of the Brethren, a lot of times it really doesn't matter. I can still put up my Synchros, go Ties, and then do what I need to do anyway. So we're able to do it like that. As long as I can get my Synchros on the board, I can still have a really strong open. Last but not least in this build, we are running 3 Adamancipator Signs. And running the 3 Adamancipator Signs, basically it's 3 Monster Reborns for the deck. It allows me to monster reborn, and because I'm bringing usually back an Adamancipator monster, I can stack the top of my deck to be able to mill what I want to mill after bringing back that monster. If I choose, if it's not really necessary and I can hold it to the end of my turn, I'll just bring back an extra Kokimeru monster and play the Kokimeru as an extra negate. So I'll put my Synchros up and then bring back the Kokimeru. Sometimes you may make the Synchros and you don't have the Kokimeru monster on board, so you use the Adamancipator sign to bring back the Kokimeru monster, and then you go Ties of the Brethren, and then you get that Fossil Dyna as well as the extra negate out. And so it's really good in the fact that it just brings back any of your rock monsters from the grave like that. Or, you know, you get the extra stack if you bring back an Adamancipator monster. That is it for the main deck, guys. Without further ado, we will go and explore what we are running in our extra deck. And so, for the extra deck, we are still running a few Link monsters. So we'll start right off with the Link monsters. We are still running Appaloosa, the Bow Goddess, for extra negates. In order to get into our Appaloosa, we are running IP Masquerena. I think that we understand why they are ran together, as well as another option for the IP, the Nightmare Unicorn. If we don't have the 4 materials, we're able to do Link 3 and go into the Unicorn. Unicorn simply allows us to be able to have an extra interruption on our opponent's turn. Sometimes you go through your needle fiber combo and you end up with the Link Cross still on the board. By being able to make the IP Masquerena and use the Link Cross, you can make that Unicorn, and it just gives you an extra interrupt throughout your opponent's turn. The last 2 Link monsters that we are running in the deck are Hyquofibrax, Needle Fiber, and then the Link Cross. And so, like I was just explaining, you know, you'll make that Crystron Hyquofibrax, and then link it off into your Link Cross play. Typically speaking, the Crystron Hyquofibrax in this deck is used to really just make IP Masquerena, as well as a Herald of the Arclight. That's getting us into our Synchros, but what it does is when you make the Crystron Needle Fiber, you're going to bring out, your target is your Plague Spreader Zombie, and you're going to always go into Martial Metal Marcher. And by going into Martial Metal Marcher, you're going to be able to Synchro, first off, bring back that Plague Spreader again, and then you'll be able to Synchro the Metal Marcher with the other tuner monster and basically go into your Herald. If you have any other monsters on the board, it allows you to be able to put up your IP Masquerena. Your Link Cross is still out there, so you by just by going into that play, you'll have your Herald as well as IP Masquerena with a Link Cross still out there for you to make that Unicorn. If you have, you know, your Adamancipators have done their thing, you can still go into all of your Adamancipator Synchros and all of that cool stuff before you even bring out those 2. That's kind of like a closed loop. So once you do it, I mean, that's you know what you're going into when you do that. So, but that's what that's going to get you. For the other Synchro monsters that we're running in the deck, we are of course running one Borreload Savage Dragon. Borreload is there for an extra negate. We make 8s really easily because we do run Analyzer and a lot of level 4s, and so we're able to go ahead on and bring that out fairly easily. I'm about to say it's not very hard to bring it out. It's generic enough. Once you've done your Needle Fiber play, it gives you of course the free 2 negates. And then for the meat of the deck, we're running the 2 Adamancipator Dragites. We're running 2 Raptite and 1 Leonite. For the most part, this is a free extender for you. This is your board clear and your way to OTK. You basically bounce on your opponent's turn all of their stuff. It doesn't target, and you're able to clear your board and push. It's a 3,000 body that allows you to bounce all of your stuff, and then it also gives you the negate on your opponent's turn. So you get that spell a trap card negate. Wrap Tight, of course, it's able to, if you play a wind monster in the deck, it is able to get over graveyard stuff, so you can banish from the grave, but we don't really use it for that. We use it as an extender to be able to put another Adamancipator monster on the board from the deck. Leonite is a monster reborn, so we like having our Leonite on the board just to be able to bring back our Kokimeru monsters, because it's a free negate. And so even if I don't see Ties of the Brethren, and I've played through one of my Kokimeru monsters and put it in the grave, on my opponent's turn, it's a quick effect for me to be able to bring back one of my rock monsters from my graveyard with Leonite and put it back on the board. By doing that, I'm able to have a free negate on my opponent's turn if I do that during their draw phase or standby phase. So you definitely want to run the Leonite in this build. For our non-Syncro monsters and non-Link monsters, we do run two. We still run the one Abyss Dweller and the one Gallant Granite. Sometimes you just need to be able to go into Gallant Granite just to be able to get that Adamancipator stuff going, the tuners and everything going. And Dweller is good in case I'm playing against a graveyard deck. If I see that my opponent's doing too much out of the graveyard, I can always go into that Dweller. That being said, that wraps up this deck profile, guys. Let me know, of course, what you think about it. This is more of a stun variant of the deck. It's going away from the whole Link crazy spam combos. It's still a lot of combos to be done in this deck. However, the combos are a little bit different than what traditionally Adamancipators have done. With testing the deck out, I found that the stun variant still enables me to put up all the negates that the previous Adamancipator deck did. However, it allows me to be able to have a few more options without Block Dragon. And so I found this to be pretty successful. Guys, let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Holla.